These are 5 things I wish I knew before I bought my first house. The first thing is the house you can actually afford is different from what the bank says you can afford. Let me explain. Technically, what you can afford by the bank is your deposit plus the max you can borrow. If your deposit is 100K, the bank says you can borrow 500K. The max house price you can get is 600K. But is that what you should shop for? The answer is no. Apart from your deposit, there are a lot of costs involved in the house buying process. I'll just name just a few. Stamp duty, legal costs, moving costs, mortgage fee, I could go on. And all of those have to be paid by cash. So if you spend all your money buying the house, you're not going to be able to afford anything later. I know those memes where you literally be in an empty house on the floor. That'll literally be you. If technically the max house price you can get is 600K or 400K, I would always reduce that by 50K, because the utility you can get from a house that costs you 600K is the same from a house that will cost you 550K or even 500K. The next lesson I'll say is there's literally no rush. And what I mean by that is you should try and furnish your house in stages. My wife actually came up with a very good idea. She divided the furnishing of the house from stage 1 to stage 6. Stage 1 being stuff that's actually very important, like having blinds in your windows so that no creep can see what you're doing in your house. Stage 4 is, to me, like a dining table, right? You don't really need a dining table. You can eat with the food on your plate while it burns your hand. And stage 6 is like having this fancy chandelier, for example. And also try and get good quality items. If that means you have to wait long before you get a nice rug, then so be it, right? It's literally your house. There's no rush. And it's better to spend quite a good amount of money to buy good quality than to rush and buy some cheap stuff from IKEA that will break in 6 or 7 months. The next thing you should do is always ask the builder, are there any incentives they can give you? Especially if you're a first-time buyer, sometimes there's stamp duty incentives where the builders will pay the stamp duty for you. Sometimes they're able to offer you a discount, but it's definitely a good idea to ask, even if it's not mentioned. Next thing I'll say is you should start creating a rainy day fund, right? The switch from you realizing that you're no longer renting and this is something you own, and at any point in time, you might have to spend a lot of money to fix, you name it, the roof, washing machine, cooker, hob, ceiling. Like at any point in time, you have to fix something. And if you have no money saved away, then it becomes an issue. So if you already have an emergency fund, you should create one, especially for your house. And the best thing to do is to try and build that over time. That could mean you contributing £100 a month into that fund so that slowly, once you have at least 10 grand in that account, it might take you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, who knows? But the goal should be that over time, you build that account just in case something breaks down. The last thing I'll talk about is to try and set up your direct debit if you can before you move in. And the reason I'm saying before you move in, at least know who your supplier is, know if it's British Gas or Eon or whatever, is because once you actually move into the house, you're going to be so busy and you don't want a long amount of time to go before you set up your bills and pay them, right? Because those bills could build up over time. And also make sure before you move in, you take what your meter reading is for all your utilities, because your bill starts from the day you complete on the house. Anything prior to that should be paid by the developer. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you found that useful. Like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.